Hello, this is Kian Tavitan. Today is a bit of a interesting one. Very interesting one. I know this is a little bit spontaneous. I'm just going to wait a minute for some people to jump in. I hope everyone's well, chat. I'm a little bit sick at the moment, so forgive me if I'm a little bit scattered, but I'm always sick these days, so it doesn't really matter. It's a bit of a... It's working. Fantastic. Alright, now, I know this seems like a very unrelated subject to what I normally talk about, but it's not. It's... Anyone that's followed my work with the Order of Nine Angles and with David Myatt will know a lot of it goes into, you know, things like David Myatt's Cosmic Reichsvolk. A lot of it is coming out of esoteric Nazism. And whatever people say, or try to deflect from that, be them Niners, etc., the entire movement does come from a lot of esoteric Hitlerism. What I find interesting about what I'm going to show you is there's a resurgence of ideology that is almost identical to esoteric Nazism in the United Kingdom, especially at the moment. However, it's coming from, rather than the usual focus of my work, which is European far-right extremists. This is black. And what I find interesting about this, and especially this guy and his movement, it is so close. Anybody that's looked into, you know, real and esoteric Nazism, this stuff is so close to esoteric Nazism that, I mean, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Most of this stuff comes from it, but it's just been repurposed. And it's incredibly racist towards whites. And I find it fascinating. And I thought, you know, I'm sick. I can't say that. I've got to be a good boy. I just got banned off Twitter. Oh, one annoying little notification for people. I was allowed back on Twitter, and then they locked me permanently out of that account. So don't bother trying to contact me on, I'll show you very quickly, this Twitter account. I'll bring it on the screen. This one isn't banned, but they locked me out of this one permanently. So don't bother following at Kian_Tavitan on Twitter. I can never get access to this account again. Don't know why. I tried. Then I made a new one because that was my only option, and they suspended it, which I knew they would do for no reason at all. So I would go into conspiracy because I do believe. Oh, I can't see the replies, of course. I do believe that somebody caused this because I got shadow banned immediately after criticizing somebody, but I don't know for sure, so I'm not going to. I get mass flagged anyway by people, so who gives a shit? So, yeah, I have no control over that. Anyway. I will start into the stream proper in a moment. Oh, no, not, to be very clear, not Hanrahan. It's not Jake Hanrahan. He didn't know about that account. The other one, he got pissed off at me and blocked me on, but he didn't. So to be very clear, Jake, I'm trying to leave you alone. I'm not blaming you for that one. Oh, okay. Somebody else, but there's a lot of people that are annoyed at me, and a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes is bullshit, and a lot of people flag me constantly. Anyway, thank you, Elon. Your free speech platform is a fucking nightmare, and yeah. Thanks, man. This is going to be interesting. Simcoe, Assalamu alaikum. This is going to be fun. I really. And before I start, I'm not trying to attack this guy or his movement. I just joined his Telegram groups, and I joined his Discord servers, and oh yeah. My Serbian is terrible. So anyway, please do not get angry at me, OMS Vision. Before I'm doing a commentary, it's under fair use. I'm not slandering your movement. I'm bringing it up as a interesting cultural phenomenon to be reappearing in the United Kingdom in particular, because this comes out of movements from United States, specifically the Nation of Islam. Everybody knows about that. Essentially all black cosmic eugenics cult in the United States back in the day. Malcolm X being one of the most famous members, who murdered by them when he realized it was all had nothing to do with Islam. Well, this movement is a sort of resurgence of NOI, Nation of Islam ideology, but in the UK, and this guy absolutely fascinates me. And because I know my audience, a lot of chuds and a lot of very based esoteric lyrist, you know. Well, you guys have there's a common movement in the United Kingdom that is so similar. It is so similar. It is like reading. You'll see when I play, but this comes under fair use. I'm not trying to slander OMS Vision. I'm not trying to be edgy or anything like that. I just fucking love this video so much, and I am desperate to commentate over this for a very, very long time. And so I'm not trying to slander you. I'm having to do all this stuff. So please don't flag me. I'm not making fun of you. It's just an interesting cultural phenomenon. Now, ONS Vision is a very little information out there about this. It's mostly this guy, but they're quite big. They're international, and the ideology is very similar to NOI, but there's a lot of other stuff sort of mixed in, and it's comprehensive. It's almost like watching, you know, if I'll let the man speak for himself in a moment. It's been a while. I'll just quickly go to chat. Alakim, hello, thank you. Esoteric, Tariq Nasheed. It's been a while anyway. If I were in the UK right now, I would have visited this guy's HQ. We was Heraclitus and shit. Oh man, this guy knows his shit. This guy really knows his shit. Is my connection okay? I'm just quickly asking because my internet is not the best. Let me know before I start this. Let me just double check, because I just joined his the Telegram group. Let me have a look. Oh, and a lot of things are getting censored right now. So not just me on Twitter, but Google is cracking down too on anyone that talks about Russia. And even Telegram servers are just being fucking taken out right now by Google. It's bad. So if I disappear, I'm hoping I don't. They've been pretty lenient with me, but yeah. Okay, good. I'm in their Telegram groups. OSM. Oh wow. Okay. Let me see. I'm in a Discord server too, I think. Did you guys accept me? OSM. Oh, fuck. I think there's somebody in their chat. We might be able to have some fun with this. Oh, by the way, I'm going to start in one moment. I'm not responsible for whatever my audience does. I'm not telling them to do anything. I'm just trying to show some parallels. And with no context, I'm gonna start. I need to have some some cough medicine. I am quite sick at the moment. And I would advise anyone who's sick to definitely take their cough medicine at this moment. This is the time. You're gonna fucking need it for this. And yeah. So we was Ananuka and shit. Oh yeah, you know where this is going. With regards to Discord, it's a secret one at the moment. It's not a server though. I don't have a server. Okay. Double cup of lean. Oh yeah, you're gonna need it. One moment. I'm gonna just have my medicine and come back. So just get ready. Your glasses on. Get out your. I'm sorry, I don't have my NOI material, but you know, get your Quran ready. I mean, oh, Islamists. Just don't kill these guys. Don't do anything like that. Oh, I shouldn't have said that, but Islamists, don't take offense to this. There's a very deep cultural thing going on as to why this is happening. Don't take this too personally as Muslims. I know Muslims do look at my work because of my interview of David Myatt. I get quite a few in Pakistan, in the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Yemen that look at my stuff. Don't get pissed off about what you're going to see. This is African diaspora, where they're trying to find their identity. This is something that white people are going through deeply at the moment with the massive changes in culture, mass migration, the feeling of, I mean, I'm displaced anyway here where I live. I've got no connection to this land. I'm not even, you know, I'm from a you know, war diaspora from Yugoslavia, so you know, it's, I think a lot of people couldn't understand why this has happened within displaced Africans in places like the United States and the United Kingdom, and why it's coming up again in much greater numbers now than even a decade ago. Because everyone's feeling this in any, I hate to use the word, but marginalized communities, including lower socioeconomic and white people who are, especially young white men and even women who feel like they have been that feel like they've been left behind, and a lot of people have. And this identity crisis within culture, the forced globalization and trying to homogenize everything does not fucking work. And it's pushing people to the extremes. And the censorship, everything else coming on top of it, it is a fucking boiling pot. And I'm trying to point out with this that this is not just far right, you know, all white ethno state, AWD, NSO, the base kind of thing. This is happening in every extreme, every community, everyone, and all the normies in the middle, you know, push aside or don't see this shit because no one really talks about it. And they get more and more and more marginalized. And another clear warning, this is incredibly racist. But I think Google won't care because this is racist towards the right kind of people. You. All of you, for the most part. Except me. I think I'm okay. I'm okay, according to the ideology. I think I might be okay. We'll find out. Everyone put down your genetic background in chat. I need to know where everyone's fucking from so we can find out if you are a human being. I mean, none of us are human beings, according to this, which is 100% the truth, brothers. But yeah, anyway. Fucking hell. Alright, let's do this shit. Are you ready? Message retracted. No. Okay, let's start this. Intergalactic cosmos and shit tipping into the melanated energy. Yep, you guys know what I'm fucking talking about. Scottish, Irish, and German. Just over. Oh, fuck's sake. Oh no. Alright, let's start this shit. Fucking cunt. Hold on 1 second. Oh no, you can. Alright. Alright, what's my brother's name? Alright. Don't strike me for this. Don't copy strike me, it's a fair use. Let's do this shit.
You're asking that question about Yakub, the big head
Alright, brothers, can you hear?
scientist. That is such a big story that I think I'm going to read some stuff because it's a very big story, right? So you can find that story for those who have the Holy Tablets, right? In chapter 16, the Underworld. That's the chapter. The name of the chapter is chapter 16, the Underworld. And you can see a picture there of the Donakil. Now, I'm going to read some information. The best book really that goes into the details of the Yakub story is the book called Shambhala and Agatha.
All right, Shambhala. Cities within the earth.
Cities within, right? The cities within, because the planet Earth is hollow, right?
Yep.
And there's a diagram called the hollow Earth. But that diagram explains about how.
Okay. Anyone notice a little? I find this really interesting, the hollow Earth thing being brought up, because in esoteric Nazism, this theory has been put around for fucking... Oh. I mean, since the, you know, pre-Nazi days even. I find it very interesting that this black and they're eugenics cult, and they are a eugenics cult. They say pretty much the most based shit ever you could possibly say. And I'm sure most of chat would agree wholeheartedly, other than the replace them with, other than them being their own ethnicity for the far right in chat. They say some of the most base shit imaginable. And so we got the land of advanced races. Oh god. Agharata. I am really sick at the moment, so forgive me. I'm dyslexic too. So anyway, we got the city of Shambhala. We have the central sun. We've got man. Oh, these are the tunnels, because he kind of explains it himself. But look, he's even got Admiral Byrd's flight, 1947. Holy shit! Holy shit! This guy knows his shit, chat. The tunnels to the inner Earth. Oh, so there's caverns within the Earth before you get to the land of advanced races, and each cavern has different racial groups. However, all these racial groups all come from space. This is a culmination of all of my work on fucking YouTube since 2021. This has got Jacob Sockness vibes all over it. His is the Andromeda Galaxy. It's got eugenics, racial stuff. It's got every conspiracy theory and esoteric thing thrown in, and aliens, and eugenics. I mean, you can't ask for any more than that. Admiral Byrd's flight, that's very interesting, them referencing that. I don't have the NOI's books. I should, to get a bit more of a foundation of this. I did sign, get a friend of mine to join the Nation of Islam against his. He didn't know I signed him up for it until he started getting bombarded with emails by them to try and join. That was pretty funny, but yeah. Anyway, continuing.
The planet is hollow, and when we say hollow, there are actually caverns. So depending on how far you're digging down into the center of the Earth, there are caverns on the way, and that map called the Hollow Earth, you can Google it and you see it. There are caverns in between, not right in the center, but like in between as you're going down. Many different caverns, and those caverns have been there for a long time, and you have different extraterrestrials that live there. And the Donakil, who I've shown a picture of, is one of those beings. Then
okay, so we have the Hollow Earth. And inside the Earth, there are multiple caverns and multiple tunnels. And within those tunnels and caverns, before you get to the inner Earth of the land of advanced races, you have multiple other races which are all also extraterrestrials. Are you following me, chat? Are you following me? It's not all that complex. And then you've got the inner Earth advanced races, and you also have the sun within the Earth. Okay, so, and this is explaining where you came from. Yeah, this is explaining where you came from, viewer. And did David Myatt write this? Is this an...
You have like the Duanis, Yeah, the Duanis, they look
Yep.
like that. They
Oh,
like
yeah, this is important. The Duanils.
porcupine beings.
Yeah.
They are very smart. You have the Teros.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, these are important. The Teros. All right.
Teros, they look like that. These are like the cone head that you would have seen in like Star Trek and certain.
No, not Star Trek. It's a separate movie from with amazingly entertaining schizo. What's his name? Star Trek. I love Star Trek, by the way. Old Star Trek. Anyway, back when I'm getting nostalgic for the next generation. Or New Trek ruined everything.
And movies that depict these different beings, but the Earth has a grid system.
Okay. Now we're getting to the planetary grid system, right? You see? So we got the hollow Earth, the inner Earth. We have the advanced races within the inner Earth, and then in the tunnels between going down to the inner Earth, we have other extraterrestrials, because it all comes from space naturally and comes back. And then we have the planetary grid around the Earth. Okay, so we only got about 20 layers.
Right, as you can see there. There's so much information. I'm just building up to then go into that story of Yakub, because Yakub, who's referred to as the big head scientist, he came about as a product of a mixture between the Donarkil and the Teros.
Yep. The cardinal sin of all the groups that I have talked about for the most part are very uncomfortable with this mixing. And please, YouTube, no, I'm not. Don't. This is meant to just to be an entertaining insight into some of this stuff, okay? Don't ban me over this shit. Okay, so this is a big, within the NOI, of course, and within this guy's movement in the UK. I mean, I'm tempted to call him. I mean, it'd be pretty late. But he's got his business. This guy is a really interesting guy. He made these videos. Like, he seems to be somebody involved in a lot of the... this is different from just a normal Yakub villain backstory. This is the true Yakub backstory, okay? This is the real one. Just one thing, David Myatt shitpost. I knew this Sudani guy obsessed with all this. Yeah. Even his profile picture was those of Anunnakis. The guy is referenced in the video. Holy shit. Anyway, I've stopped being friends with him as he kept calling me a homo and being passive aggressive towards me for being a Kurd. Yeah. These guys take the whole ethno-fascism thing to a whole nother level. And Americans, this isn't just normal NOI stuff. This is a new group that has movement has co-opted a lot of Nation of Islam stuff, and also like stuff from everything. Esoteric Nazism, stuff from fucking like bordering on David. I mean, it's understandable within the cultural framework of the United Kingdom, and this came out of the hip-hop grind movement in the UK. And if anyone remembers that from back in fucking 2010 period, I probably can't actually show. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to play any music. I would instantly be copy striked, so I can't do that. Look up UK hip hop grind in your own time. So this guy sort of involved in that back in the day, and then he just sort of popped up with this stuff, and it's international. I mean, he's 100,000 subscribers. it's very interesting. Anyway, continuing. So your creator, chat, is, so it starts with the Melanite children, and no, that's not me making some stupid joke. This is it's all about melanin. It's a massive part of the belief system, which is understandable if you're black. Anyway.
So yeah, that whole chapter, if you read the Underworld, chapter 16 in the Holy Tablets, goes into
the Holy Tablets. I need these books.
Shambhala and Agatha, cities within,
group can give me some.
that goes into more detail. But what I'm going to do is, again, from even the Melanite children, which is scroll number 133, that goes into, so what I'm going to do is just read an excerpt and then talk about Yakub. All right, so the question on page 43 says descendants of the Deros, right? It shows you that the Deros, which I didn't mention, but they're like the obese looking types of beings. But then,
so these are in the tunnels in the inner earth, okay? But not going to the inner earth, but not the actual inner earth itself, because that's where the advanced races are.
Two other groups of beings earlier. The Donakil, right? I'm going to write some of the words that are quite hard to maybe know. So the Donakil,
I hope you have your
terror. Yeah, when we say
ready
terror,
for this
we
shit.
put the plural and we say terros. Yeah, but it's terror.
I love this city so much. I need to interview this guy.
The Donakil, whose original
Procure, Badia, Amo, Akshad.
home is in the 8th planet, Risk. Right, so the name of the planet is Risk. This is where...
All right, so this is where they come from. And remember, they're in the... Earth on the way... Hold on one second. To... I need the fucking Hollow Earth. In the tunnels on the way to the inner Earth, but they're also extraterrestrials. Okay. There we go. I should have pre-prepared the images, but anyway, there we go. Agatha Land of Advanced Races, Pyramid of Giza, we got the tunnels. So it is the tunnels on the way to the inner Earth. And they're from the planet Risk.
Our master teacher comes from as well, right? It says the 8th planet Risk of the 19th galaxy, Ilion. Ilion is ILLYU. Ilion, right? That's the name of the galaxy. Have an abundance of melanin in their skin, for they are related to your forefathers, the woolly-haired beings, those who bear 9 ether, the Anunnaki, right? Again, remember, these terms, this is when he was still teaching us the Sumerian doctrine, and the terms that were being used, such as Anunnaki or Elohim, which we obviously know there are different species, and
and don't attack this guy. It's just interesting. It's just interesting because of the parallels.
We know them as the Parnatharu today, all right? The descendants of us, all right, who are the Shuyuk. The Shuyuk.
Well, but that's not me, sadly, but
spelled S.
I'm not a human. Well, I might be a human, sort of. Most of you, chat, won't be.
UKH.
Yep, so we got one of the 24 elders.
The Shuyuk. These are the elders, right?
Yeah.
The elders,
it goes without saying.
It says, we left some of our hybrids on this very planet Earth. They are your Donakil.
Whoops.
They took up residence within Shambhala, right?
Yep. Okay, so all right. He goes into this, and what makes this video one of the most amazing things I've ever seen on the internet is essentially he does this in such a matter-of-fact way as, you know, this all just goes without saying. He expects you to have... he doesn't prepare with any building up of... I mean, he does. This is the most comprehensive I've seen of this subject, but... All right, so they're in the land of advanced races. I can't... Agharta. And there's the city of Shambhala. This is like every fucking conspiracy and every esoteric. It's just as if David Myatt, Jakub Sockness, and some black guy came together and decided, okay, let's just throw everything together. And yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Oh, and one update. People are posting a lot about the Sonatu medallion curse again. I know this is a slight detour. I'm banned off Twitter, so I don't know exactly what's going on. Is Ethan Ralph missing? Ethan Ralph being the host of the Illustrious Kill Stream, a right-wing stream that was huge in the 2010s, late sort of 2018. It was quite a bit of fun back then, actually, before he became the rage pig, the gunt that we all know and love. People were posting pictures, and I was going to show you, but then I realized that Twitter banned me, of Ethan Ralph holding the Sonatu medallion. And apparently he's missing, and because of who he is, with alcoholism, Xanax addiction, and in Mexico he's pissed off cartels. Long story, he might be... I hope he's not dead. Anyone in chat, if you know, just update me, but I think I may have been the first person to talk about the whole Sonatu being a demon thing that's now become almost a nomenclature or whatever in not mainstream, but, you know, did I accidentally turn the fucking Kiwi farms into chaos magicians? I did that shit before Chris Chan was in prison, so back in 2021. I know people would have thrown this theory out there on 4chan, on X, and on the Kiwi farms. But, I don't know, Nick Rekieta getting sent that Sonatu medallion with that letter, and then him getting arrested in the most embarrassing way possible. And then Ethan Ralph declined, and they all got that cursed Sonatu medallion that some chaos magicians on the Kiwi farms sent to Nick Rekieta, and Nick Rekieta actually paid for the postage to get sent a cursed medallion with a letter by some fucking chaos magicians. That totally wasn't me. Totally was not me at all. Nick Rekieta had absolutely nothing to do with that. I'm just wondering if I may have accidentally started this shit. Nick Rekieta, very famous for the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing. There's him with the Sonatu medallion, and then him arrested for possibly child negligence. I mean, his children had cocaine in their systems by crawling on the ground, the mess of his house, firing fucking rifles, firearms in his house while he's in a three-way relationship claiming to be a Christian conservative. The whole story for another time. Everyone knows it, but that's part of the sector in any way, shape, or form. But fuck off, Reddit. And then Ethan Ralph disappearing and him having the medallion. I'm just wondering if I accidentally started that shit. Ethan Ralph is alive and well and getting lots of poon and sorting lots of white. He was found today. Good, he's alive. I think. To someone, we built everything like the pyramids in Europe. We were kings and samurais. Gives me the money. He's right, you know. The longer I look at this diagram of Agatha, the funnier all the details become. It's fucking amazing, man. We are all the serious scholars of reality. We are all the serious scholars of reality. We are right here. Shambhala is code word for the envisioned endpoint, that is Marxism, which is a type of heaven on earth deal. I mean, Marxism is a idealist nightmare that can't work. And anyway, so why are you spending time making it entertainment? Academics, please respond. Melanated juice now. We're using we are using racist stereotypes to mock them. I'm reading chat. I have no control what my chat does. And by the way, just to be fair and please, to be clear on my position. My position is everyone is fucking racist to some extent. It is genetically ingrained in us. And anyone that says otherwise is a fucking liar. However, I'm not, I don't want a ethno-state. I'm not far right. I'm not I actually don't really know many white people, to be honest. I understand why people move towards this kind of belief system. And instead of outright attacking people for it, I would rather have a dialogue. So I would love to talk to this guy. I would love to talk to this guy. Mushabat. Very much. Because there's a lot of things that I find very interesting about all this. And because I'm not an expert on this, I would love to, you know. So, yeah, I'll read out memes that people write. But these guys absolutely hate white people. So, you know, fair is fair. This is the most this becomes the most absolutely, this is just, if I was to make a video doing a lecture and I replaced all of these with Germanic names and, oh God, I should actually, I need someone to send me a picture and I'll use ChatGTP to like unmelaninize these guys and then replace them with good Germanic names. Deutsch names. Like, oh, recreate the one. And if I did a lecture with, you know, just all these AI images of, just make them Hyperborean, right? And I'll give them some traditional Germanic name. And then I did a lecture exactly the same as him, standing up with, you know, my books in hand of, you know, Mein Kampf and the book that the whole Vril thing came from and shit like that. And then start explaining all this. I would not only be banned, I would possibly be fucking charged, especially in Australia, in Victoria. So, you know, even if I did it as a parody, I can't. Like, so fair is fair as far as I'm concerned. And it's not like they can't take a joke. Jesus Christ. Like, treating people like this as if they're to be protected, right? It's that is actually racist. I'm sorry to say. You can't treat them like another fucking human being and be remotely critical and think that you need to fucking baby them like this guy is some kind of absolute pussy that can't fucking handle anything. This guy comes from the fucking grime hip-hop movements of the UK, which is full of coke, fucking pills, violence in London. I know a bit about this guy's background because I actually like a lot of the. I used to have a few issues in my life. I used to listen to a lot of UK hip hop and shit like that because, like I'm talking about back in 2009, 2010, 2011, and I know this guy was really in those movements that groups like Foreign Beggars and stuff like that came out of, and I can't play you the grime stuff because I'll get, you know, copy strike, but it was actually pretty fucking cool. It was really aggressive, really violent, really the grime. I'm talking about the UK 2010, 2011. Like you had these guys that, you know, maybe my age, a little bit younger than me at the time, and they had, you know, they're all. A lot of them are juiced up on steroids and shit like that. They have their fucking shirts off and they'd just be... They didn't take themselves too seriously. A lot of them had like the haircut that goes... The afro that just sort of goes up. And they'd just be like, you know, jumping around, writing a thing, really energetic. But they come from hardcore fucking backgrounds. And so I'm not going to treat this guy and people who I know... the scene that he's come out of, right? Like, he needs to be somehow protected. Fuck that. Anyway, I get sick of all this shit, because I would rather people just be fucking honest and say what they actually think, rather than... Anyway, now I got fucking sidetracked. Just a quick look at chat for one moment. Oh no. I'm having a boomer moment. Fuck. Can't see chat. Where the fuck are you? OBS, there you are. I know they dislike me for my skin color, but I feel some sense of camaraderie in mutual racism. You see, that's... Now, I don't think they dislike you. They might not see you as a human being. Well, it depends. It depends. You just might be one of the good... One of the good ones. Hashtag not all Palladians. You'll get that reference down the line. But, you know, not all Palladians. We're not all bad. It's an interesting phenomenon that I personally oftentimes get along better with racist non-Europeans than with non-racist Europeans. Sorry. I agree. Grime is not bad, but reminds me too much of London slums. Oh yeah. With how diverse online far-right circles are, this has to be bigger than just my personal perception. I mean, the far right now is just it's hopefully that's better. Let me know if I'm having a issue with fuck. Okay, I got an idea. Sorry for this. I know this is not the most entertaining thing to watch when it's. What else do I have open? I don't have the best internet. Getting a bit better. Okay. If it gets worse, I'll try one other thing. It says it's doing excellent right now. Anyway, back to take in mind I am really sick. This is why I'm kind of okay, cool. Why I'm doing it on something a little bit, different from normal. However, I'm not attacking this guy. I find this absolutely fascinating, and there's a lot of similarities. I'm trying to go, hey, this is actually kind of, why don't we be friends? I'm trying to do a David Myatt unification of Islam and neo-Nazism together with the same enemy, except my enemy is mass censorship. Mass censorship is and no outlet for men anymore. That is and a feminization of masculinity without attacking women, because that's horrendously unhealthy perspective to have. But anyway, that's my thing. And having a slight more traditional perspective on gender dynamics, society, the world, and a more honest dialogue. Okay, I'm going to have to try and wait, did it connect? Because this might fix everything. Yeah. All right. Did that just fix all of my problems? I think my issue was and I'll lower the quality to, sorry about this. I forgot that I use this to record videos, and I have much higher quality than I would for, Yeah, we all have the same enemies. We're all facing the same horrible totalitarian censorship. I want these guys to be able to, talk shit about white people in this interesting we're all into conspiracy theories. We're all into the same shit. Why can't we all just get along? I'm using that ironically, but no, in a way, yeah, seriously, why can't we all just get along? I have more in common with this guy than I do with like 99% of society. And I don't even I'm not even from, the UK. Okay, tell me if that's better. It's better now. And
When I'm saying that book's called
what quality is this on?
Shambhala, which actually means centered by Allah, depending on which language you're using to translate that word Shambhala. And that's the book I was referring to.
I need to get these books.
The center of the earth is a special base.
Yep.
Controlled by the Donakil. And just like the melanin bearing beings.
Chat. Do you think my melanin levels are sufficient? Sadly, from my knowledge, I don't think so. But I might not. I might be okay. I might be okay because I might be considered Asiatic rather than European to the NOI and this group. Maybe they have Slavs. Slavs are. That means I can say. I mean, we're Eurasians, so you know, they go into it. I think in this one. Oh God.
Of the Watusi of the planet Earth. Watusi of the planet Earth. The Donakil too are tall. See, the Donakil are related to what most people know as the Dongola. We'll come back to that.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
So the Donakil have very large
100% real
craniums, meaning that they have very large heads, right? The Terror are also a group of benevolent beings who lived in the adjacent cavern to the Donakil.
Okay, they're in one of the caverns. You know, so these aren't really the highest of high races because they're not in Shambhala. They're not in. Sorry, they're not. They're really not an advanced race. Neither of these are advanced. They're in Aghatharasa, whatever, and in the city of Shambhala. They're not there. They're in these tunnels, right, towards the inner Earth. And remember, there's a planetary grid system, and there's also reptiles involved. It's amazing.
The Sunanans, or Terror, which is a short for, the word Terror is short for integrative or constructive, are a subsurface race that usually keep the Terror in check. In order for the Terror to keep their sanity, they bore further into the Earth. However, due to the crossbreeding, the Terror took on different forms, and others look so human they can come to the surface and not be noticed. Okay, so it goes on, and it says, from the pictures, it appears as if they have oriental features.
Oh God, I need this book badly. I might just. Later.
And then the master teacher, Pana Babyanun, says, allow me to explain. A lot of mixing in took place in the heaven, or what you refer to as the heaven.
Yep.
Actually, the Terror come from a planet called Jomon. So the Terror.
Okay, so we've got multiple planets. It's intergalactic. I think Jakub Sockness.
Jomon.
Would have a field day with this one.
In the star constellation called the Red Giant, or the fourth brightest star, simply called October.
Okay, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Every planet. All right, so we got different galaxies and planets and shit like that, and we got Earth, which is hollow, but it also has tunnels, right? And each of these planets have different races, and they're on Earth, and I don't exactly know why, because I haven't gone into it deep enough to. I haven't gotten that woke yet. I need to talk to my man himself or someone in the high up in the NOI. And then it goes into chromosomal structure between every race. It's all eugenics, except it's every race is from a different planet, and then humans, which aren't really human, are all race mixed from extraterrestrials that live inside the Earth, but they're from outside the Earth. Are you following me, chat?
Taurus.
Oh, and like what it has where every defect comes from, like Down syndrome can be found in any race on the planet Earth, just as the tarot has many races. So there's, of course, each species has different races. Trekkies, you guys have nothing on the NOI. Esoteric Nazis. I mean, this isn't the NOI. It is the NOI, but it's a UK splinter group.
Again, you can find out Taurus, Abrams,
Okay.
the children's breathing defect, as well as
so breathing defects come from, so whatever health issues you have, you can correspond them to which race these came from, which then race mixed with human beings. It's something else. And disclaimer again, I'm doing all this in fair use. I'm not attacking this guy or his movement. I just find this fascinating. And I'm sick, and I want to do some journalistic work, but also talk about something fun. And this is sort of in between, and it correlates with a lot of the work I've done specifically on this channel.
Heart disease and poor digestive system, unstable
immune systems. Okay.
Immune systems, and are more likely to get leukemia.
Oh shit.
So people of the planet Earth normally have 46 chromosomes. However, because the Teros have 48 chromosomes.
Oh man, Filthy Frank was ahead of his time.
Their structure is so different. When or Down syndrome from different
let's go into Down syndrome, where that came from. Oh shit. We're getting into some I forget what it's called, that the Nazis before the Nazis actually, where they did all the head measurement, like things get
the Teros. You get individuals that come out and they have 47 chromosomes. The planet Earth.
Like we've got this Yucca and the lack of melanin are the descendants of the Fluglerods, Halabines, or Halub.
Just as the Tero has many races, the Tero.
So I'm skipping ahead a little bit.
European.
Oh fuck! Here we go, chat.
Descendants of
where you're from, except for a few of you, where this will get more complex.
The Fluglerods.
But majority are European, Western and Eastern European. The rest are. I've got some Jewish people, and I have some Kurds in chat. So we got an interesting mix. So the descendant. All right. So for Europeans, so most of you in chat. Yes, right. This is Eugenix.
The Fluglerods.
I should have clicked Varg Vikernes talking about Neanderthals back in the day. Rip Varg Vikernes, I loved your YouTube channel. It was fantastic, and you got banned for no reason. Of course, I'm a Burzum fan, but anyway, he was always talking about Neanderthals. Us, the ethnic Europeans are descendants of Neanderthals. Varg Vikernes would talk about a lot. This is not a racist depiction of Europeans at all. It does not look like a caricature of me, right? That guy does not look at all like a slightly. I'm not a slightly less Hyperborean caricature of this man. I'm not excessively hairy.
Are a species of Europeans, if you want to use that term, that came
those people
for the Canaanite.
Oh man,
yeah.
That's why I'm streaming.
These were like,
oh yeah, Canaan, son of I can't read that. So I had to do a lean stream for this one. I don't think you can do this if you're not sick. Fetal alcohol syndrome. when Nazis used to measure Tibetan skulls and shit. Eugenix. Yes, that's why I'm playing this. This is 100% eugenics. They're words that I can't pronounce because of dyslexia. I'm gonna. All right. YouTube, don't you dare fucking get me in trouble for this. I am okay. All right. How do I pronounce? Come on, Google Translate. I can't. All right. I don't want to.
Phrenology.
Phrenology. And yeah.
Craniometry.
And craniometry. That's the word I was looking for. All right.
2,400 years before the Canaanites or the Canaanites. And
is that Korg? Chief of the Phologrogs. Fuck yeah. That's most of you, chat. Varg must be fuming. No, I think you'd have the same reaction I do, because I know what Varg Vikernes' perspective is on we have to put it his way, ethnic Europeans, and Varg Vikernes considers Eastern Europeans as ethnic Europeans, as Varg Vikernes was charged with terrorism back in the day when he escaped prison in '99 to go sneak into Serbia to fight with Serbs against Kosovo. You wondering why I'm fucking against Albanian death squads? You wonder why I am a big fan of Varg Vikernes? I got so much shit from Combat 18 back in the day for being fucking Serbian. And a lot of them would venerate Varg Vikernes, and that was back when he was still in prison. And they would go, Varg Vikernes wouldn't allow you in our house. Oh, and then years later, he makes a video on what he actually got charged with terrorism for on YouTube before he was banned. And it turns out it was to go to Serbia to fight for Serbs who are ethnic Europeans against Albanian death squads. So fuck you, you fat cunt. And your beta fucking cuckold boyfriend. And it's because I didn't want to fuck you because you were obese, you fucking bitch. You know who you are if you're watching this shit. So yeah, Varg Vikernes would approve. Fuck's sake. And fuck you for kicking me out of your fucking bands and stuff and stealing a lot of my style. If any of you from back in the day are watching. And unlike any of you, I have more weight in the fucking far right world than any of you ever could have hoped to have had, and I never fucking wanted it. You know, I've interviewed Myatt, talked to, gone on a war on Twitter with Sutter back in the day, all kinds of shit. Talked to almost every so a little bit of revenge. Anyway, so Varg Vikernes saw Africans as sort of being almost as being very our closest people to native Europeans, which includes Eastern Europeans. Not genetically, but as we have more in common with Africans than we do with most other, because of a lot of complex reasons. Not that Varg Vikernes was big into watering down European oh god, this sounds so bad. I'm telling other people's perspectives, but yeah, watering down Europeans. Tell him David Myatt is 75 years old. Pimpology from Matthew 16:18. So we got Korg. This is not a racist caricature of a Hyperborean stereotype. Just replace this. I want to just use ChatGPT to replace every fucking one of these Europeans and make these black, and then replace all the black ones with whites, and then just fucking get instantly banned from everything. This is something I do have a problem with. I should be allowed to make a video that is 44 minutes and 44 seconds, 444,000. Brother, I fucking get your... Holy shit. Did this guy deliberately... I'm sorry, this is like a conspiracy schizo post, but on another level. I think this guy actually deliberately timed the video to a certain reference of something, because he is red-pilled and based. Let me have a quick look. Is he making a Jehovah's Witness reference? Holy shit, I think he's referencing the 444,000. Sorry, 100... Oh, okay, no, I fucked up. 144,000. No, that was me doing apophenia and seeing correspondences where they're not. I gave him too much credit. However, 4 is this guy is obsessed with everything occult, like numbers. 4 is a very Kabbalistically very good number. Anyway, 4444. I doubt that was deliberate, but this guy is an occultist, so it might be. He is the... Please support this guy. We need to bring him in. We need to unite the right. Let's come together against the normies. All right. So I'm not saying I'm far right, but far right guys. How about you come together with? I'm sure these guys don't like communism. With these guys, fuck this. Yeah, I have more in common with this guy than I do with 99% of people on this fucking planet.
They were 8,400 years before, right? So they would have been 8,400 years ago.
Oh man, someone needs to do this and replace that with David Myatt, our savior. I need to... do you guys want to see David Myatt being generated with ChatGPT to be black? I'm getting sidetracked. I'm sorry.
Whereas the Canaanites in 6,000 years ago.
I'll skip ahead a little bit because this is...
Let's carry on. So it says that of the Shuk, and those that lack melanin are the descendants of the Flugerods or the Halab.
Yep. So me and the majority of chat are the descendants of the Flugerods because we lack melanin, and also my Jewish people in chat. That includes you for reasons he'll go into, and it includes the majority of Jewish people, including Sephardic. So, because Jewish people are white, according to these guys, essentially. And it also would include, most likely, you, my Kurdish brother.
Or Hulu. Questions. You say the Tero...
Okay, the black seed married a Sunanaru Tero, a brown seed. Brown... Okay, yeah, so... Black seed you know exactly what that fucking means. Brown is, you know, like South Asian-ish. You know, it's the watering down of the proper black Caborian, real-blooded, from outer space guys.
Who have melanin in their skin are descendants of the Shuyuk, and those that lack melanin are the descendants of the Flugerods.
I'll skip ahead a little bit. So for the Danakil, we're being attacked by the Samurai New Dero. That's actually a racial slur not a racial. That's a slur in Australia. Anyway, a really old one. Fuck. That actually is that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Dero is. People I knew used it as a racial slur. Well, sort of. Anyway.
Do you mean that the two tribes mixed in, or are they a product of one or the other? Here's
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Jesus Christ. This is like the
Lucianus.
Bible. It's just as comprehensive, you know, like insert Jewish name here, begat, insert Jewish name here, who begat, insert Jewish name, except it's guys from outer space, multiple different who are on Earth, meant to be in the inner Earth, which is Jesus Christ, this is hard to follow.
Right. Lucianus.
So
that's an L.
Okay, so Yakub, his mother was a Tero, the cone-head, white-looking guys.
Will.
And his father
This is where
was
the
a
whole
Danakil, who are, what's the timestamp here?
Beings of the planet Earth, that they have Tero.
Yeah. Between, essentially, I'll skip ahead a little bit. The Tero and the Danakil had bad racial relations within the tunnels on the way to the inner Earth, but they weren't actually inside the Earth, they were in the tunnels. I bring up the diagram again. So they're in these tunnels on the way to the inner Earth, and they needed to essentially broker a kind of peace agreement between each other. So they married one of, you know, like a very high-end aristocracy noble of one of the tribe of Danakil with one of the tribe, a woman from the tribe of Tero, which are all intergalactic species. Anyway, to broker better racial relations, and this mixing of intergalactic, interplanetary races did not go down very well.
They were being attacked by them, and they were very violent and destructive of the Teros.
Yeah. We don't need to know all the brothers and stuff. I do recommend watching this in its entirety because it's incredibly entertaining.
As his own, he did. So that's the picture of Foucault, and I'm gonna carry on. Like I said, it's a build up to the story of Yakub, and it's very important to know this background. And that's Lamsa from the Tero, all right?
All right, so you can now. I think that I'm a mix of two different Tero species and also of a Flugerod. Oh my god!
And I'll show you a picture of how.
Fuck.
This is all of them. So you have. That's Yishak, Lucianus,
amazing.
The mother of Yakub. This is where it's getting to. And then this is Radia, the daughter of Foucault. and then you have the son Hatif.
Where do mixed
right?
people fit in this whole thing? Well, I'm mixed, so we're trying to work that out, chat.
Who was originally?
I never knew about all the Flugelord stuff. So does this mean that Yakub bred the Frugalords back into existence? So we're getting to that. To understand Yakub, you need to understand all this stuff, and to understand all this stuff, you also need to understand. It's comprehensive. It is like reading, fucking, what's it called? What's her name? Not Blavatsky, but like theosophy stuff from back in the day, where a lot of this stuff was taken from, and like it's just esoteric Nazism, but with esoteric cosmic Nazism, but replaced with black people instead of real-blooded Hyperboreans. Hello.
Originally supposed to marry her, but obviously.
Hold on a second. Sorry. Shit. No, fuck off. Sorry for that. That logo looked familiar. I can't open that right now. Anyway.
Obviously, she ran away. And then now we get into the meaty bit. This is the picture of the big head scientist known as Yakub, which became Jacob, and in other stories that pick up. So the question goes on. It says,
Yep.
were they the only two children? No, Fuqua and Yushak had 5 other brothers named.
Yep. So the brothers of Yakub. We're going to skip
Garden
some of them.
There was a
Oh, who's that? She looks nice. Hawa, fucking hell. Nakabiya Eve. Oh yeah, daughter of
Eve.
Oh yeah, he's the Lilith, son of Atom, and okay,
Mount
it's the family
Arafat.
tree a little bit. We'll skip ahead.
There was originally a village with an illegitimate birth between Yishak, his brother's Fuqa's wife, Luciana's story, because she.
Oh yeah,
okay,
so there's a race
this is
mixing.
Her father,
this is before even any of the, scientific experiments to create white people to show the world that, which he was meant to kill anyway. Anyway, it's the whole thing.
Giving her away because she wanted to marry a terror like herself.
Yeah.
Because she was angry, she had a child by Yishak, the disagreeable, yet reformed brother of Fuqua. She
Is this
did
making
this so
sense,
that
chat? You
the
following
child
all
would
this?
be of no benefit to her tribe. Many thought him unpleasant to look at. This is why. Now it's going into this is the story of Yakub.
This is a pleasant to look at. I'm sorry. I'm really sick in a fucking fever dream. Unpleasant to look at because he's white.
Yakub, who was born hydrocephalic, having the head twice the size of his tribe members, the Donakul and the Teros. Because of it, by no fault of his own, he got much attention. Because he had the head the size of 2 men. When he grew up, many referred to him as...
Yeah, to give them credit, to give... this is incredibly concise. Blavatsky, I can't read that shit. Fuck Blavatsky.
as the big head scientist, right? So he was scorned, mocked.
Someone says, I actually read a book set in an extended Nation of Islam sci-fi universe. Or maybe a RPG or two that there. Yeah, I would read one too. This is fucking fantastic. I love this.
Thus he wanted to get revenge on his people. He owed...
So this all started because of racial mixing, which created somebody that is in a little bit inappropriate, a bit of a contrarian, and is not conforming very well with society despite having some great gifts. I can't relate to this at all. This is definitely not sounding very close to home and base.
peculiar appearance to the fact that he was mixed for the Teros, right? Because the Teros they have that
The
kind of
cone
like,
heads, yep. We know. We're following you,
you know,
brother.
the cone head. Yeah, so the Teros look like that with the cone heads. Yeah. And then you had, obviously, the Donarchil, they had just round heads, but he came out.
Yeah, he's explaining it, person in chat. This is, yeah, that's what I mean. You have... All right, so we got the cone heads, which are the Teros, and the Donarchil, which are the black, sort of big-headed guys, and Yakub is from a racial mixing through a marital alliance between the Teros and the Donarchil because of the Flugerods, which are essentially retarded Hyperboreans underground, are being too violent, and so they created. Yeah, they did this for you know, cultural enrichment. No, you know, like a pragmatic. You know, I'm marrying my fucking daughter off to you guys, and you give me one of your sons, and then we're bound by blood. You know, like classic. If you ever read anything by George R. R. Martin, you know, bringing together two houses, like it's classic international relations back in the feudal era, and that created some issues. And Yakub, I believe, used the Flugerods, if you follow me, who are the retarded Hyperborean, who are also from outer space. I can't say the word because I don't want to get banned, but yeah, so I'm at 1526. The Flugerods...
From Canaan.
If I'm getting this wrong, what's your name again? OSM Vision Shabbat. If I'm getting this wrong, I apologize. I believe he used these and experimented with them and Teros. It created white people as a fuck you. I mean, he goes into it. Let's skip ahead a little bit. All right, so
Shannon, him look different, but
oh yeah, he has two brains. The law has been fixed now. He has two brains. Exactly, Jacob Sockness. If you are watching this, you and this guy. I mean, this is all coming from the Nation of Islam. You know, I respect Malcolm X a lot. Malcolm X was not I'm not really a big fan of the civil rights guys like what's his name? Martin Luther King. Turn the other cheek Christian stuff. It's not an attack on Christianity. It's just that attitude in that period of time. I don't believe was exactly productive, whereas Malcolm X was very, and he was a member of the Nation of Islam, where this is just straight out of the Nation of Islam's teachings at the moment. For the most part, there's been a few things here and there. I believe Elijah Muhammad and NOI guys back in the day looked into the real stuff than the fucking what's it called? A lot of the Nazism. 1488 lashes if you get it wrong. You know, a lot of the theosophy stuff and the eugenic shit, and then just repurposed it to be for essentially, yeah, they repurposed a lot of eugenics and threw in every fucking conspiracy theory possible. It's amazing. And they hid all this. They hid all this brilliantly, you know, like we're just Muslims. Any Muslim that has watched any of this knows hashtag nothing to do with Islam. Like this is, don't, Muslims in the UK, do not attack these guys, all right? If you understand the background of all this, you'll understand why. This is not exactly what I would call, you'd be killed if you started talking about this shit in the Middle East. Jesus. And by the, you know, like I understand black people moving towards Islam and away from Christianity, which, you know, has no ethnic or cultural. See the similarities here? Chat has no ethnic or cultural connection to them. So I can understand moving away from Christianity and towards Islam, which also has no real connection to black people ethnically as a religion. However, its proximity and the historical connection, you know, it's understandable to move in that direction. As a black man, especially in like the 1930s, 40s, and 50s in America. And that's where all this sort of came out of. And right at the same time, we had all the esoteric, you know, the not Reichsfolk, the folk movement, Germanic folk movements in Germany at the same time happening, and eugenics not being all that long ago. Them using the same sciences, the same things that were used against them. It's very understandable, which is why I have a weird fondness for the Nation of Islam and these other splinter groups that are now in the United Kingdom and getting quite big right now, because I totally get why you would move in this direction. However, because I've been to the Middle East, I was a Muslim. I mean, technically I still am Muslim. I haven't apostatized, so Muslims, be clear about that. I haven't apostatized technically. I still am. However, I've lived in Islamic communities and countries. Arab aristocrats are pretty racist, and not just towards Jews. They're pretty racist towards South Asians, you know, Indians, Pakistanis, and they're pretty racist towards essentially anyone that is not them. Doesn't have a. They're pretty racist towards blacks, and they're pretty racist towards, extremely towards Pakistanis. It is what it is. It's just the nature of the world. You leave the West, I'm sorry, but the confines of society and what social media and stuff likes to project on you does not equate outside of that. And that's what my work has become all about. This absolute watered down pussification of the West weakens us immensely. Anyway, my schizo posting aside.
His wife, Lucianus, was herself disagreeable from the tribe of agreeable Teros.
Yep. Now we're going into Socrates kind of territory. All right, the Palladians are very important in all this, that star cluster, because that's where Hyperboreans come from.
His name was called Yakub, who was also known as Yakub, son of Yishak. He's also known as Yakub, as well as Yakubhar or Yakub El. He is known as Bar Yishak. His mother's name was Lucianus, the terror of the original tribe of Lunarians, who came to this planet and lived beneath the surface. She was not in agreement with Terror marrying Donakil for political reasons. Rebellion being weak and wicked, her trials and tribulations led to her desire to destroy men. She did not know that this was prophesied by the wise 24 scientists called the Magus or the Magi. who by the stars charted this birth
The
8,400 years before it actually happened.
Volkish
He was
movement.
born
That's the one I was talking
in his
about. Thank you.
uncle. His uncle's name was Ammon.
Okay.
Let's carry on.
We don't need everything. Yeah.
Own people, and then
When did all this take place? 8,400 years BC. So it's settled, chat. When we're taken to the year blah blah blah, the cursed seed of Canaan would manifest at 6,600 BC according to their history. I see what you're doing there. I know what you mean by their history. Hashtag not my history.
the whole planet. The people around him that got ear of his diabolical plan would ask him, will these people be wicked and warlike? He simply answered, only I know
we're good.
that answer. You do not. He knew that he would be their God. The question is asked, when did all of this take place? Answer, he got his 100 years BC. Yet the cursed seed of Canaan, 600 BC.
Yes, this god Yakub created his own Adam in his image and after his likeness, in the image of a human being, and wicked and weak-minded, overcome with jealousness and envy. He was born with a complex of inferiority and subject to the world to their wish of superiority. A new man, a kind of man, simply mankind. The hidden meaning was in the real name Patmos. O&A, David Myatt connections. The place of my own killing, that is Patmos in the Aegean Sea. This is Greece, where this mad scientist Yakub was to create a new race to destroy his own people and himself. Yet he died at age 150 and never saw the completion of his creation. Tragic. They were all to be healthy, strong, and good breeders. Well, at least we're good breeders, chat. We got that going for us.
See, according to their history.
To quote Varg Beacon as, have many children.
So he says, was this a creation?
Breed. I think that is a direct quote. So he's just fucking up. Oh, muted it by accident.
Minded.
Yeah. So I read that part out. How's a new being to be created? Yakub made the Flugerods, which are my guys here. So I'm at 2006. You know, we got Korg. This reminds me of like the Wrath of Kong for some. Fuck it, no more Star Trek references. Korg, chief of the Flugerods. So Yakub used these guys. It's not racist at all, and took them, and by genetic splicing called grafting, they were called Grus or Jews. Okay. YouTube, fuck, don't get me in trouble over this. Who are later called Jacobites, to show forth his power and his wisdom, declaring himself the righteous, and he can make a people genetically and mentally weak to give them the power to rule. Well, that's a weird... You're mentally weak. I mean, if I look at the confines of contemporary society, they seem pretty mentally weak, yet they rule, so who knows. They intended to eliminate them to show and prove that he is God. So Yakub, being from these two different tribes from outer space that were living inside the inner earth but not in the core of the earth, wanted to show, because he was a mixed race and had inferiority complexes and was made fun of, that he was God. He created his own people by splicing the Flugerods genetically and then to make them evil by getting rid of their melanin.
The place of my own killing, that is Patmos.
Okay.
In the Adrian Sea, called grafting, declaring himself the righteous,
We don't even know what his
and
parents
he
do.
can make a people genetically and mentally weak to give them the power to rule.
Oh my God.
So then it goes on. Why did he start school so young? Don't forget, Yakub had 2 activated brains. He was fascinated by magnetism. Yeah. At the age of 18, Yakub had already finished all of the schools of learning in his day and time. This is where Yakub was to convert the people needed for the breeding of his new race. And this is where the Nation of Islam kind of pick up about his uncle and the magnetism, right? So this was where Yakub was to convert the people needed for the breeding of his new race, in the task of making a disagreeable, wicked and physically weak being with the...
Thank you. This schizo posting is great. I'm way past my bedtime. And I absolutely love this video. If you want to have some fun, just play this to someone with no context.
the ability to rule with a special kind of reverse knowledge. So in the making of this new breed of people, he would use his own genes, being he was from an original black and brown germ, the black germ from his blood, the blood of the Donakil, and the brown germ from his blood, the blood of the Terror, who had mixed with the Palladians long ago. For his master plan, he needed to convert loyal followers that would obey him regardless of who or what. This was executed by the loyal ones. Before this secret project could begin, there must be a great many people converted to his beliefs. So first, he traveled 20 miles inland from his uncle's house to the holy site where the tree of knowledge did sit. There he started to preach in the streets of Becca, again making such host of converts that...
Okay. This is incredibly comprehensive. The Asiatic black man, that's a very important subject matter to understand
Islam.
any of this.
Not to be mistaken with the incarnated gods who already lived in Africa and had woolly hair, 9 ether.
Oh yeah, there's ether levels and people are... How's the stream going? If it's choppy, let me know, but yeah, there's a system of ether levels. It's very interesting. Asiatic black man, not to be mistaken with the incarnated gods who already lived in Africa and had woolly hair, 9 ether. All along the coast, people had black skin and straight hair. So these are the Asiatic. It's fascinating. But we're going to this part, I believe.
People had black skin and straight hair. Who said the beard, slave trade would be. The name Zinji, all right, originally by... When
Alright, you're gonna like this chat,
people say
probably.
the slave trade was by black people. So when you're talking about the people say the slave trade was by black people, it was originally by these black, straight hair 6 ether beings. All right, so given the slave the original name Zinji. So when you hear the name Zinji, right, so that name Zinji, that was before the word Negro. Right? Okay, so
there goes my monetization.
Nubians failed to realize, or today we say that black people failed to realize that through slavery, your minds were stripped of the knowledge and what you did have, and this was done through one type of people, the ones that call themselves the Jews, right? Today, Jacobites. So,
well, there you go. Your everybody's favorite thing to schizo post about has now been thrown into it. See, I told you everyone has more in common than they think. I'm not promoting any of this ideology.
the question is asked, is it true that the Pale Jew was the first to start the slave trade in the New World? Answer, this is quite true. Jews who came over with Christopher Columbus returned with Native American to sell in Spain as slaves. Many of these Jews employed non-Jewish
It's like
slave traders and
every fucking conspiracy and every bit of people trying to work out an alternative history, and then Jacob Sockner stuff thrown in, and it's just everything. It's amazing. I'm gonna have to go in a minute. I highly recommend watching this video. Like, me making it's. I just did this stream kind of, for fun. I know I'm not going into what I normally do. I am actually really on well at the moment, and I just thought doing something a little bit light that is interrelated to what I normally talk about in a kind of fun way. I'll just throw it out there, and yeah, there's a lot of very bad viruses at the moment going around in where I live. Almost everyone's sick at the moment, and some other things. I haven't been around too much other than the last two videos I made, just because I'm wanting to just keep my private life, private, and I've had a very difficult year, and I know everyone has their own problems, and so I don't want to throw that out there on people. So I disappeared mostly for that reason, and it's hard to know how consistent I can be at the moment because of a lot of stuff going on in the background. So yeah, I thought doing something a little bit fun and a little bit less serious spontaneously, and also just to make a point, because of the marginalization, anybody with any alternative viewpoints that aren't corporate lobbied political talking points, and I don't mean extremists in this context, I just mean people with any outsider perspective on any level, are being pushed further and further aside by mass bannings, mass censorship, and it's across the board. People are returning to ideologies more and more that are, and looking into this stuff more and more, because it confirms certain biases you have on how society is constructed, and it's dangerous. But I'm also trying to say people have more in common with each other than they might think, and this division in society at the moment, where everyone is attacking everyone over politics, and becoming more and more reactionary, people either you have to be really based or far left, and